reveal Mixup.Audio, our new baby. What I'm going to do over the next X minutes, hours, days, years is show you a little bit what Mixup is and how to best use it, and why it is the most amazing thing that ever was on this planet and potentially other planets. Let's cut directly to what's important. What is Mixup? Mixup is a music collaboration system for producers, mixers, artists, anybody who makes music and needs to share it with other people and get feedback on it and deliver it to other people. Because Mixup fixes a bunch of issues that we all have when we make music, it's really difficult to summarize it in one, elevator pitch line. We've been trying a lot. We spent a lot of time with Guillaume, who's Guillaume Chalayac is my partner in pureMix and in Process and in Mixup. And the two of us have been dreaming up this thing for you guys. And we spent a lot of time making sure that everything is very clear and useful. And we've been going back and forth a lot about how to describe Mixup. And the thing with it is that it's hard to describe in one line because it does a lot of things centralized towards the communication part of the music business or the music creation. So they are, in my view, besides all the music stuff, learning scales, learning the difference between a compressor and EQ, that stuff, there are four main roadblocks into the proper flow of a project with collaborators, especially since, Coco Roro ruined everybody's flow. Number one is centralization, meaning I'm working here and two of my collaborators are in Toronto, two of my collaborators are in Paris, one of them bounces between Miami and LA, right? And so we have all these songs and all these tracks in various degrees of completion, and so everybody has their own ways of communicating. Some people like text, some people like email, some people like WhatsApp. If you work with somebody in France or in South America, you're going to get WhatsApp. You're not going to get a text. And so all that stuff is very all over the place. And so it can be very difficult to wrap your head around, okay, so if I'm going to work with Lolo, I'm going to text. If I'm going to work with Team Dupe, I'm going to WhatsApp. If I'm going to work with Sophia, I'm going to email. And so that scatters your brain. And then over the course of a project, maybe one producer has a way of communicating and another producer has another way of communicating. So I was here, Lolo was here yesterday, and we're talking about her future stuff. She wants to play me some music, and she's like, okay, so this one is on SoundCloud, and this one is I think he sent it to me in my text. Let me see. That's a real problem. There's many ways of communicating, and there is no federation. That's a really huge problem if you start being very active. Second, it's very difficult to communicate about music. You know that once you start trying to describe something to somebody else who's not in the room with you, if you can't go play, what do you think of this? If the person is remote, then you have to say, okay, that part after the first chorus where those 4 bars where you go, I love you, baby, that's the easy one. But if you want to describe the third snare on the second bar of the third chorus, first you all have to agree which part of the song is the chorus. You have to agree what a snare is. Well, snare is easy, but sometimes it gets confused with hi-hats and stuff. So that communication can be difficult. If you've mixed records or produced records or written music with people not in the same room, you know that the descriptions, the disconnected descriptions, can be very confusing to everybody involved. So that's a very big problem. Third problem is file management and versioning. When you are across a big record, and say a whole album, there's probably 12 songs. And on those 12 songs, if you're starting from production, for example, you could have 20 versions of the song, right? So 12 times 20 times little tweaks, plus the masters, plus the options, plus the alternate versions, the instrumentals. So it's a lot of files to manage, and it's if you already have a system, great. But a lot of people don't have a system, and it becomes a real problem. Where's that file? Which mix is this? Which one did you like? Did you like the version 2 or did you like the version 5? It's difficult to keep track of that stuff, especially when it's spread over email, right? So if you finish with a mix, how do you send it to your friend in LA? Well, you send them an email. Maybe you send them a Dropbox link, and then in the email or via text, and then they're going to write back via email, and then the manager who's in, I don't know, Ouagadougou, look it up, will send you another email contradictory to what the person in LA told you, because they haven't talked, because they're 9 hours apart. So that file management, versioning, and keeping track of who likes what and where is really complicated, and it's a headache. It's actually kind of a turnoff to the process of working with other people if they're not in the same room. And even though we're all gonna get properly vaccinated and all that stuff, this workflow is here to stay, because as far as I'm concerned, I worked this way in a remote manner before even the coronavirus came down, because very few people come to mix sessions. People send me their files, and then I mix it for them, and then I have to get their feedback, and that's where the idea for Mixup came from. And then one last major modern issue is level management. So the number one enemy in the record making process is the perceived loudness. So you do this great mix or this great production, it's not as loud as the previous one, and it doesn't get the proper attention, because if it's not as loud, the human brain will turn off, and even your more evolved human brain will turn off and decide that it's not as good because it's not as loud. And that's just a natural human biological reaction that has been ruining records for decades, and it's come to a fever pitch with the loudness wars, and it's a real problem every day. So Guillaume and myself decided that enough was enough, and we were going to come up with a solution for all these issues, all rolled into one. It's called Mixup.Audio, and I'm going to show it to you. So if you want to show my screen, which is a lot more interesting than my face, there you go. So this is Pro Tools. And the thing about Mixup is that it works from within your DAW. It works many ways, but the main way is from within your DAW. So here's my Pro Tools session, and as you can see, it's your standard run-of-the-mill. This is a production. It's not mixed. This is this wonderful duet out of Toronto. Their name is not fully in stone right now. We shall call them Jupiter and Mars. That's the name of the band. Came up with that. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully they like it. So this is their session, and it's a production session. And I have here on my master at the end, for those of you who know me, this is not my regular template because I'm not mixing this, I'm producing this, right? And in the production stage, that's where you get a lot of feedback, because you say, okay, do you like this? Do you like this snare? It's not a process of wrapping things up. It's a process of creation. So there's a lot of back and forth. So I got the sessions a few days ago, and I've been working on it. On all my writing sessions, I just have a simple master and a limiter so that I don't blow the world up. And then I have the Mixup plugin. And then I have this other plugin, which you'll see in a second, which is called Decibel. That's my level, but today we're talking about Mixup. So this is Mixup. As you can see, Mixup is a file player. This is a plugin on the master of my DAW, right? So if I press play, I still don't know if you hear the DAW, right? Let's imagine that I am done with my current pass. And as you can see in here, I'm going to explain the whole interface soon. I just want you to get the vibe. So this is my track. I still don't know if you realize how I feel, does it show? And let's imagine I just bounced it. This genius move. I just finished it and it's beautiful. I want to send it to them for feedback. So I'm going to say I'm going to add a version, and I'm going to browse my files, and I'm going to go to their folder. There you go. This is called Hung Up. and I'm going to upload. Oh, I haven't bounced it. So let's bounce it while we talk. There you go. I'm just going to bounce this much. We don't need the whole thing. This is just for demonstration's sake. Let's call it 1.8 like this. And for the 48, great, session folder. I'm going to choose a different directory. This is as real life as it gets. This is kind of cool. Hung up, bounces, boom, go.
I still don't know if you realize how I feel. Does it show? And I've let it go. You don't bring the same appeal anymore. No. Now I'm gone, and you're wondering what went wrong. Realized you were not the one. You know that you can't keep me waiting forever, baby. You waste all of my time. You know that I was hung up, and I couldn't get enough. You almost got me. You know that I was hung up, but you just ran out of luck. You almost got me. Well, you're.
All right. So a song system. This is going to be good for us for the demonstration of this. Let's imagine I just did this production and I want to get feedback from my band. So I just printed it. I'm opening the Mixup plugin. I'm adding a version, and I decided to browse files, and I just bounced this. Click OK. Hung up 1.8. Upload. So I am in my DAW right now. I am in Pro Tools, and I'm uploading my mix to the cloud, to the Mixup secure cloud. And you can see a progress bar here at the bottom, right here. And once it's uploaded, it's going to analyze the file for level and for format. You can upload any format you want, MP3s, HD files, 96K files, whatever you want. Mixup will take anything. And now it's up. It's right here. And I can listen to it. How can I explain this so it's very clear? OK, check this out. So now I have hung up in the cloud. It appears in the plugin. I have my different versions here. This version was the version just before. This version right here was the MP3 they sent me, which is their demo, right? So this is the demo. Sorry, this is their demo. This is my current version that I just uploaded. So I can listen to different versions. And more importantly, I can compare between the DAW and Mixup. So for example, I'm here. This is the original version. When it's pink, it's Mixup. When it's greenish like this, lime green, it's the DAW. So my version. I still don't know if you let it go. You don't bring the home. No. Right there, that's awesome. You may have noticed that they're not in sync. Does it show? I still don't know. And that is because if you pay attention to my session at the beginning, the intro is not at 1. The intro is a little bit into the session. So there's an app for that. You can position yourself at the beginning of your session. You can say, this is the new beginning for Mixup, and now they're in sync. I still don't know if you realize how I feel. Does it show? Pretty awesome. Next step, when you want to send music to somebody, you tend to leave messages, right? You want to say, hey guys, this is the new version or something like that. So what I usually do is I select my file and I leave a comment. There are two different kinds of comments. There are general comments and time comments. General comments show up untied to the timeline, and I say, well, something original. Hey guys, this is the new version. Let me know what you think. I'm not a very good typist. OK, cool. And enter. So now, oh, let's see this. Let me edit that. Think with a T. Great. So now, when I invite them to listen to this, they will be able to listen to the track right away, and they will be able to hear my message. If I want to attract their attention to something important, like for example, at the verse, let me move this out of the way so you can see. Okay, say I'm here and I press play. You notice that Mixup follows right away. Let's say here I can make another comment that says, here we are missing a background vocal. Any ideas? There you go. And then I send it out. I send that out to Mixup, and they will be able to see this. So when they play the timeline, this comment will come up at the right time, and this comment right here, the general one, will be, you know, the first thing they see. So this is where, in the process, usually you would send a Dropbox link to your friends, but here you don't have to do that. You don't have to switch apps. You don't have to do anything. You can invite somebody right away from the plugin. Let me show you. I'm going to invite Mark. There you go. Yo, spelled the French way. New Jupiter and Mars idea. What I think. So with this, I'm able to send Mark an invitation to this track directly from the plugin from within Pro Tools, which is bananas. The other options for sharing are you can get a link and text it. You can set a password if you want to. There are 3 levels of security in Mixup. There is no security, kind of like a SoundCloud thing where you make a link and send a link to everybody and their mother, and everybody can listen to it. You can set a password. So you could, for example, send a link, but also send a password in a different route. So that's a stepped up security. It's still no friction. Your client can just click on the link and listen to music. Just enter a quick password and it's good to go. Or there's a mode called VIP mode where you have to actually register and make a free Mixup account to be able to listen to the music, and that allows you to work with, you know, people who want more privacy. So I'm going to send this track to Mark. So Mark just got an email to come listen to the song, and Mark is going to be able to open it either on his phone, on a browser, or in his DAW if he wants to, listen to it, and leave comments. We're going to call Mark on Zoom in a second, so he can, you know, share his thoughts on the music. Other things you need to know. You can, whoops, sorry, wrong click. You can come here and do pretty cool things when it comes to the looks of your system. As you can see right now, I am browsing my entire database of music. So you can see, you know, Grimes, Gregory Porter, Harlem Street and Speakeasy Orchestra, Jack Mack, Lolo, Lazara, and I'm able to browse my entire online music library straight from my plugin. And so if I want, I can go into anywhere. So I can go to Terre Noire, this really great record from last year, and actually can listen to it from here, which is pretty nice, right? I don't have to go browse anywhere else. It's all in the cloud. It's pretty awesome. And then let's go back to our system. Trying to show you a real system around everything. Now I'm back here. Apparently Mark is, I hope Mark is listening right now. Maybe we should call him. Maybe we'd see a comment appear in real time. You never know. So once you've sent the file, the invitation to your client, to your collaborator, to your, you know, A&R, whomever it is, they can distribute it, and everybody has access to it. So you might want to be careful about permissions, meaning what can they do with it? Can everybody comment? Can everybody download? And that is actually something that you can, oh, one new commit. Mark, good call. Any room for a vocoder track? So Mark just listened to this and left a message, and it showed up here. So, and he left the comment at the spot. So that means that if I'm here, for example, and I click on the comment, you'll see that Pro Tools is going to run there, and that's really key. Let me show you this, because that is so good. So I'm at top of the session, and I'm listening to it.
Still don't know.
And it's green here, so I'm listening to my DAW.
Still don't know. If you realize how I feel, does it show?
Okay, and then I see the comment that Mark said, but I don't necessarily know where it is. So if I click on the comment, then Mixup is going to tell Pro Tools or your DAW to jump to that spot, and you can know that's where he wants the vocoder track. You don't have to count seconds, you don't have to do anything. You just click on the thing and Mixup takes you there, which is really, really awesome. It's that feature, maybe when you look at it like this, you're like, yeah, that's cool. But when you're working and you can do that, it's a complete, absolute life changer. Where am I in my little list of things? I want to show you everything so that you know everything that happens with Mixup. Check this out. Here's a cool one. If you have a lot of comments, Mark, why don't you leave a lot of comments? I'm sure Mark is listening. Leave a lot of comments all over the place. Good ones, be nice. The thing that you could do is you could do auto scroll, meaning that as your timeline plays, the comments will actually show in real time. And you're able to know where you are by looking at the comments. That's just great. It highlights the comments as you go through. There's also something else. It's like, I think the vocoder track is a great idea. I'm going to solved comment. And that just darkens that comment. And I can hide my solved comments. So I don't have to be assaulted. You know, when you get that email with like incredible amounts of feedback and you have to make a separate text document or print them and then cross them out, and it's a pain in the butt. Here you don't have to do that. Could we add a shaker? Maybe a banana shaker if we can find one. I will write back. I gave it to someone I love. No shaker here. Okay, great. I reply that. He's going to get that answer, and then I can mark it as solved, and I don't want to ever hear about it ever again, so I hide my solved comments. I'm sure you can start to get the vibe on how efficient this is. Of course, since we have several versions, every version can have its own comments, right? So these two versions didn't have any comments yet. I'm back on 1.8. Now these comments show up. And of course, everything is undoable. You can go back here and you can unsolve things. If things are being unsolved, it happens. Things get unsolved. This is now unsolved. And all this is pretty flawless and quick, and you don't really have to read a manual or anything to get it to go. It just works. So that's great. Ooh, someone likes my guitars. Very nice. So if I click on this, those guitars, get it. So if you remember at the beginning when we discussed communicating about music and describing which part is which, and all agreeing on, you know, which instrument is which and which section is which, this solves that problem big time. It solves the problem of communication because you can see us converse on the track in real time. It solves the problems of centralization. If you look at my track here, my stack, I call it a stack because probably that's what we call it during development. Apparently there's a new version of it available. Yay. This is the work I've been doing for the last year and a half. And I've been doing everything on Mixup so that, you know, I can share with people. And I'm able to go and look at what I've been working on. Like this is the Cabra record I've been mixing. And I'll show you the playlist. And Jupiter and Mars, the new Lolo Zui single, that's right here, that has a lot of versions. This one, for example, has version 1.5, had 41 comments. I hear a click. Try removing the vocal chop. Try removing this hi-hat. And all this, all centralized in one place, and all with the entire team. Here we have Lolo and Stelios and Doug all communicating on the track to try and make it as good as possible, as fast as possible. We never were in the same room. It's really awesome. I could not have made that record without, sorry, without Mixup. So we're back on Max and Johnny. What else am I going to discuss? Mark. Let's bring Mark on and have a conversation about that. Mark, I'm going to bring you onto the screen. Make sure you're dressed. There you go. He's dressed. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Very good.
Okay. So when I sent you the link what happened after that?
Yeah, so you sent me the link, and I'll share my screen with you here.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you exactly what happened for me. So I got, let me find the share button. There we go. Okay, I got this really great looking email. You've been invited, so Fab invited you to review the track, and got the name there. I could click there to go to it, or I can click on play track. And then it opens up my player. And I believe that we'll notice that my player looks different than yours, right? Because you're in an admin view.
Yes.
But same thing, I can go through and listen, and I can check out the different versions next to each other and compare things, which is awesome when you have a whole bunch of comments and you're trying to listen. Did the mix engineer, make these adjustments, and then let me hear the before and after of that comment.
Yep, and everybody should notice that Mark is listening to the track I just bounced in his browser. And Mark is in Ohio, I'm in New York. He's listening in his browser. But if he wanted, Mark could have listened on his phone. And that's crazy. You can, for example, when you work with, artists like either Lolo or more like pop artists who are always on the move, always either on a shoot or in a video shoot or somewhere else, not at home, not in a studio, the number one place they're going to listen to their music is on their phone. And Mixup can stream to the phone. And Mark showed you there that, can you reopen your screen? I just want to show them something. It's pretty awesome. If it's not too much of a problem. Oh, there you go.
Should I go back from my phone?
That's your phone.
Yeah.
He's so technologically advanced. So this is, we're looking at Mark's phone. And so in the stuff that I shared with him, you will see that there's the stuff we've shared with him, and this is hung up. And he has the choice of playing the tracks either in HD or as MP3. Go back up. So that is key. That is super important. When you send people, in the current way of working, like SoundCloud or Dropbox, your counterpart, your client, is going to hear a very bad version of your music because those services sound bad, because they compress the sound a lot to be able to have a lot of volume. Mixup doesn't do that. You can tell Mixup play HD, and Mixup, of course, if you upload an HD file, Mixup will stream that HD file to your client. And then if your client is in the middle of the savannah, then you just click, Mark, your entire Slack stack is public. It's awesome. You're a busy dude. If your client is in the middle of the savannah, in the desert or something, then they can you can play them in MP3. If they have bad reception, they can use an MP3. And we spend a lot of time making absolutely sure that the MP3 sounds good. And that was a moderate amount of fun, but I'm very proud of how it sounds. So you started to see the process. I create the music. I, from the DAW, send it to my collaborators, and he can listen to it. He can give feedback on it, and then I can come back to my DAW and get his feedback synced with my timeline in real time, totally transparent. And this works with any DAW because it's a standard AU, VST, and AAX plugin. So if you use something esoteric like, I don't know, some old version of Cubase, this will work with it because it's a VST. And it's pretty fantastic. So that is the basic thing. Now let's kick it up a notch in the principle of the workflow.
Fab, to derail you for a second, I have a story about sharing with the other platforms.
Okay, hit it. Here's Mark.
Okay, so I did a recent mastering project for a client, and we were using Mixup the entire way through the process, and I had approved masters from the client, and I sent them over via Dropbox for final delivery. Just copy link, send it to their email. Here's your final masters. And the client pulled up the masters to listen to them on their phone in Dropbox, and they kept on commenting back that there was a small noise at the beginning of one of the tracks. And I was listening on my side from Pro Tools and inside of Mixup, not hearing it, and like squinting as hard as I can, and there's tears coming out of my eyes trying to hear this like small sound that he's hearing. And then I was out at the grocery store. You know, I wasn't able to solve it, and then things kind of tend to stick with me. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, maybe I can hear it on these AirPods while I'm walking around for some reason. And I heard it, but I was listening off a Dropbox. So I sent him a message, and I was like, hey, are you by chance listening off the Dropbox player? And he was. So I said, can you download it and then listen to it off of QuickTime? And then the noise was gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just a funny story about that. We didn't get it in Mixup.
Yeah, Dropbox is an amazing tool. I work off Dropbox. Like my entire life is on Dropbox, but it was not designed for music. It was not designed to share and work with music. It's good at handling, you know, files, but music is a different kind of file. Music the art is in the file, and so it has to be delivered in a flawless manner. And Dropbox doesn't deliver in a flawless manner. So yeah, I have stopped sending Dropbox files a long time ago. So let me show everyone the browser side of things. So this is what we just created in my browser, right? So this is Pro Tools. This is the Dropbox plugin. This is Pro Tools. This is the Mixup plugin, and this is my browser with the website, because it's both things. It can be your plugin. It could be on your phone. It can be in your browser. And so, and 98.3333% of all the functionality that is on the website is in the plugin. These days, I almost never go to the website. I just want to show it to you because it could be interesting. Maybe you're a music supervisor and you don't work in a DAW. Maybe you're just a singer-songwriter and you record all your ideas on your memos on your phone, and you will be able to work with a producer, and you don't want to be bothered with a DAW. You can absolutely use Mixup that way, and so I want to show you that it works that way too. What else? Oh yeah, I know what I'm going to show you next. Here's a cool one. Check it out. You can actually add art. So I have a folder here. I have a big hard drive, and I have artist pics. Let's see which one, where they're really delightfully goofy. Yeah, this one's great. So now I can decide this is going to be the cover, and then when my clients come, there's art, so it looks pretty and makes everybody feel good about you know, coming to this site and hearing the music and seeing a pretty thing. Something else that's pervasive in the art of making records is you tend to do more than one song, hopefully. And one of the important things about several songs is the context. So for that reason, we have playlists. Let me show you, what can I show you? Sophia, for example. I just finished this record for Sophia Ray. It's a wonderful record. And this is her playlist. And this is every song on the record, and I can press play, and I hear right away the beginning of the record. And if I want to hear another song, I click here, and I have another song, and I can jump around, of course. And all this is happening on Mixup, and also will happen on the plugin. One of the great advantages of playlists in Mixup is that they actually are collections of tracks. So think about that for a second. If you have 17 versions of a mix, you can put a playlist together and put that track with all its 17 versions inside the playlist, and you could decide which version is up on the playlist, and you can do combinations of, okay, I like mix 2 for La Quinta Para, and I like mix 3 for Helvetica, and then can we listen, you know, what would it be like if we had mix 2 for Helvetica and mix 3 for La Quinta? You can do it in 2 clicks, and you can reorganize your playlist, and you can organize how the playlists are played. You just hit manage here, and you can change the order of things, just like that. This playlist feature, Mixup has been ready for a long time, and but it hasn't been released because it didn't have a playlist feature. And as I started using it, and other people on the team started using it, we were like, we can't work without a playlist feature. Playlists are really super important. So it actually delayed the release of Mixup, which is why it's released now and not many months ago, because we wanted a very robust and very easy to use playlist feature, and here's what we did with it. So let me show you. Let's go to like Pone, for example. I just finished this awesome record for this French DJ named Pone. I just cleaned it up for the label. Okay, let's go to Cabra. There you go. So this is the new Cabra record, and there are 6 songs in it, and every song here is a track. If I click on this arrow right here, I'm now in the player. I can do all the player things I want to do, and I can go back to the playlist and switch to a different player. And here I can add versions. See, I have version 1.21 and version 1.3. So now I'm at the track level, and if I go back up, I'm at the playlist level. If I play this playlist right now, version 1.3 of Lingote is going to play. But if I come here and I say, hey, you know, we changed our minds. We want 1.21 to be the star. We start that. We go back to the playlist. And now version 1.21 is what's going to play in the playlist. Pretty nice. I'm going to put it back there so that I don't get a call from Edu saying, hey, what happened to my playlist? I played for the label and the wrong version of Lingote played. So there you go. Boom. That's pretty awesome. Something else that happens when you start mixing different songs into a playlist is that you have level problems. Maybe one song is going to be loud and one song is going to be soft. And that's actually a problem, as I mentioned at the beginning. You know, if one song sounds louder than the other, then it's going to make everybody feel like it's not as good, at least most people. So Mixup has a level management system. All you do in a playlist is you click level, you say maximize level, click save, and now all this song, Mixup is going to calculate the level of all the songs, and it will play them all at an average LUFS level that is the best common denominator for all of them. Clearly, this is 12.3 LU. So now I don't have to worry about the first song being louder than the second and the third song being softer than the fourth. None of that happens because Mixup takes care of the level for you. All you have to do is decide, okay, I want to maximize the level, or I want to customize it. And you could say, okay, I want it to be customized to Spotify level. And you click OK. Now the entire playlist is going to play at Spotify level. So if your collaborator wants to A/B between your work and Spotify, you're level matched. Now, if you want to cheat, nobody here would cheat. But you could say, OK, I want them to compare with Spotify, but I want an edge. You put it at -13. Now you're 1 dB louder than Spotify. I would never do that. Nobody here would do that. No, nobody would do that. So this is pretty awesome. You can turn it off. With people at the level of Cabra, I don't have to do any of that because we're basically delivering finished mixes. Some of these projects sometimes, well, not Cabra, but some of these projects I just did, the mix goes straight to distribution. So I want them to hear the final level. So that's why the level is optional. You can turn it on and off. You can maximize or you can custom, right? I'm going to summarize that. You no longer have to worry about delivering a mix to beat a demo. Just upload the demo to Mixup. Say, okay, we're going to play everything at -14. You upload your demo to Mixup. You upload your mix to Mixup. You tell Mixup, yo, -14. And now you don't have to beat the level of the demo. You can only beat the sound of the demo, which is pretty nice. So that's pretty awesome. What I'd like to, sorry, let me go back in here. And that's level management at the playlist level. But in reality, you can push level management all the way to the version level because this happens between versions too, right? So you can manage level. Here's for a reason that I don't know. Oh, because I'm in a playlist. If I go back to my Jupiter and Mars that I created earlier, I hope I'm not going too fast. Mark, if you're still with us and you see questions on the internets that you need to tell me, let me know. So I'm back in a track. And the one we started with, I have hung up 1.8, I have 1.5, and I have their demo. At the version level, I can maximize, and that's -12, because Mixup analyzes your track the minute you upload it. So it's basically instant. And now their demo and my mix will play at the same perceived level. So I don't have to, put a limiter on the end to convince them that my stuff is better than theirs, or vice versa. I can just have the real truth here, and I can manipulate the truth if I want to. So that's pretty cool. What else did I want to show you? There's one more thing. Yeah, hold on. Let me bring Mark so he's not a voice from the sky. There you go.
Awesome. There's a guy in the chat named Ben Lindell.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah, good friend. So he had a really good point that this is a great way to teach clients about levels and loudness and how their mix will fit into the new world of loudness.
You wouldn't believe how great a tool that is for that. That's my day, every day for a while. It's like, hey, why don't we, you know, I just had a situation where I finished a track and sent it to mastering, and I thought the master was great, but the artist didn't think so. And I said, but what are you listening on? And she didn't know. And I said, okay, well, how about, you know, I'll make a mix-up of the two tracks. And I will put my mix and I will put the master at the same level. And then we listen together. Now we're comparing apples to apples because they're being played at the same level. And it just so happened that the master was great. It was very good. But we were able to identify in real terms what is it that bothered her. Whereas with the level difference, it was impossible. So she was able to say, this is what I don't like. And I said, okay, you can call the mastering engineer and explain to them exactly what the problem is, as opposed to not being able to quantify it, because there's so much attached to level. There's so much emotion attached to level, not as it like it's an important thing, but it makes you feel different, and thus you're not able to articulate in a rational manner to the professionals on your team. So it's this just happened a couple days ago, where I was able to use Mixup to show, yeah, you know, this master is actually doing what it's supposed to do. And okay, so it's a little too forward. Now we discovered that she didn't like the fact that it was too forward. I said, okay, cool, no problem. Just tell the mastering engineer, and he's already done another version. It took no time at all. Before then, it was a back and forth. I was like, I don't like it. Why? Well, I don't know. And there's no comparison possible. So for that, Mixup is unbelievable. And for me, it's allowed me to work with teams with confidence. I'm able to, I don't have to send the loudest thing on earth. Even if in some situation at the end it's going to become the loudest thing on earth, I understand that, but I don't have to do it. I can just put everything on Mixup, lock it up, and then they're forced to listen there, centralization, and then they know what they're listening to, versioning, file management, and they're able to get back to me on that platform, and I know exactly what they're talking about, which is the clear communication, and everything is leveled. So I think that for that, yes, Ben, centralizing all that stuff in there is great. Let me show you a couple more things. So you're done with your record. Congratulations. What do you do? Well, you tend to deliver it, right? So now people have just been able to listen to it, and they've been able to leave you comments. That's great. But in the end, you're going to have to deliver it. And so to deliver it, we have a function for that. You allow download. By the way, you haven't seen this before, but this is the control you have where you can decide what your clients or artists can do with the link you send them. They can download or not download the content. They can comment or not comment. You can turn comments on, back off. You get notifications when they answer or not in your email. And then there's this little approval thing where you can turn the approval function on. So I'm going to turn download on. And let's just say that this version 1.8 is the one that's approved. And my little icon next to it is I approve this. I endorse this message. And then you may have noticed that here there's a little manage thing and for the downloads. And I can decide, OK, only the start version are downloadable. And they can download an MP3. So you don't have to do it. We do it for you. And they can download the original source file. And then you can then give them a link. That is the easiest, simplest, most foolproof way of delivering your record. Meaning that you have the comments here, you have the approval system, you know which one is approved by your client, and you can literally get the link, save the settings, and now I can send this to Mark or to Max and Johnny, Jupiter and Mars, and they can download the final file, send it to mastering, send it to their mother, whatever. But you're in control and you know exactly what you're sending to them. And that is really awesome. Because before you would have to go do some file management on a different place on your Dropbox, for example, and you would have to send an email with that Dropbox. You'd have no way of controlling, you'd have no way of sending them all the versions in an elegant manner except for creating another folder. This, you can pick and choose what you send them, and you can decide if they get the MP3 or not, which is great because I hate having to go back and create MP3s for everything. And it's really a really super elegant manner to basically deliver your music after in the same place where your entire team has been working for the last X months making the record. Like you're done, they send it to the mastering guy, no problem. I make a package from Mixup, I send the link, and there's never a problem because everything is controlled and everything is secure. So that's pretty awesome. Mark, come back on. Ah, Mark is gone. No,
Hello.
Mark is here.
I'm here.
How you doing? Are there any questions that we could answer?
Let's see. So guys, go ahead and dump those in the YouTube comments. We're watching that for questions. And while we wait for a second, I want to give like another perspective from sort of my level of clientele and everything. So some ways that Mixup has been awesome for me. For one example, I work with some clients that I've never met before off of the internet, and they may have hired me without knowing me from a recommendation, whatever that happens to be. And they say, okay, cool, we'll trust the recommendation and go with this guy for mixing. One thing I've noticed is when I send them a Mixup link and they see exactly how this works, so there's the rough mix in there that they've been living with and that they loved, and then they get the opportunity to go back and forth between these mixes, there's an immediate thing of probably trust through a customer service perspective, where they're just like, this experience is amazing working with this person. They're making this so much easier for me than it's been in the past, getting Dropbox links and sending the emails and stuff like that. So I've personally noticed an increased confidence in my clients just by providing this platform that makes it so much easier for us to collaborate with each other remotely.
Yeah, it definitely feels very solid. Also, you can put a bunch of your work into a folder. I'm going to show you how I organize my folders. You can put a bunch of your work into a folder, into a playlist, and then you can turn off comments and turn off download, and you can send that to prospective clients as a demo reel. It works. It's awesome. You can, so somebody says, can you send me like 3 or 4 pop mixes you've done recently so I can play it for the artist? You're like, yeah, no problem. You just send them a Mixup link. They can listen to it on their phone. They're super happy. Everything is level matched. You don't have to like remaster them because one was loud, one was quiet. You can say, okay, play everything at -12, move. I use that all the time. And I actually send Mixup links to labels. And the last couple times, I've worked with a label that shall rename Columbia Nameless. The team on the label, once we finished, said, hey, we have our own internal system. We have to use our own internal system because, it's company policy. And they said, but could you keep the Mixup live so that we can work? Because the internal system for that label is not quite there yet. So literally, like, they had to move the whole project to their internal system, but they asked me to keep Mixup live just in case. And I see them use it. So it's a really great way to have a solid body of work online, connect with other people. It's secure, and it's really easy to use, and it sounds bananas. And it looks good too, I think.
I have another note on that.
Yeah.
On that. So I had an artist that contacted me, and they were just asking, I need to make a place that I can just send a URL to different music supervisors so that they can check out work for a project.
Yep.
And they were looking at SoundCloud and everything, and then I turned them on to Mixup and showed them like you can customize the artwork and match your levels and all of that stuff, and they wound up using Mixup over SoundCloud in that case too.
SoundCloud was groundbreaking. SoundCloud was absolutely groundbreaking. They were the first to do that. I don't like how it sounds. I just cannot stand it. And also, I can never find my way around there. It's too complicated. I'm not smart enough for SoundCloud. So that's part of the reason. Out of the frustration, we made Mixup. And also, I want it to work from the DAW. I didn't want to have to go to a browser at the end of my project. I just want to drag and drop the file into a plugin. I want to see my comments in the DAW. I don't want to have two windows open. I don't want any of that. And this is version 1. The stuff that's coming, the ideas that are being developed right now behind the scenes for version 1.1 and 1.2 and so on and so forth are awesome. So I'm very confident that anybody who tries it is going to be happy with it. Let me show you a little bit how I organize my system. So here on the left you have I'm in the browser right now. Here on the left you have my projects, which is the highest level. It's your top, it's your desktop if you keep files on your desktop. And then you can have a folder, which is just a container for other objects. And so I have my mixes here. These are my archives, reference tracks. I like to have my favorite reference tracks in Mixup, so then when I'm in the DAW, I can go browse to that and A/B very quickly, which is very nice. These are demos because we're working on it. This is the reels I was mentioning. You know, I sent somebody a reel, so there's a bunch of music there that I've sent to labels. And then this is my Fab Mix folder, and there are 34 folders in it. And the way I do it, some people do it by years. As you can see, it was created October 8th, 2019. Feels like yesterday. I like to organize my work by artists because I see a lot of people organizing their stuff by years, and I'm like, how do you do when you start a record in 2019 and you finish in 2021, which happens? That doesn't work for me. I don't want to be reminded that I started this thing 2 years ago. No. So what I do is I organize by artists. And so you see there's a Universal-Audio thing here, and there's probably a Moog thing for that theremin. Yeah, there you go. So this is the Clara mix, that beautiful thing. This was all the exchange was done with Mixup. And it's beautiful. Have you heard that thing? So this is something I did October 10th, 2020. I have access to it right now. I don't have to go through chaos and re-download. It's all my mixes are up on the cloud. And so I organize by artist. And the way I organize 2 levels. If the artist has a label or a team, I will have a private side and a public side of things. So for example, and then I clean up after. So let's see what's still the Gregory Porter one. Okay, so this one was the private one, the internal one. It's a track, and within the track there's 3 versions, and they're probably hidden. Yeah, I hid them so that nobody gets confused at the end of the process. But those are the different versions. I don't want the label to see the different versions. I want the label to see the final version, but I also want maybe Gregory to be able to access everything, the track list. So I made another front-facing thing here, where the label, actually this was an experiment, but the label was able to see just what I want them to see. And that's the way I organize things. For the Michelle Willis record, for example, we worked on that for a long time. So there was the fall 2020 mixes, and we went well into 2021. And this is every single song of the record in a playlist, and this is at the mix level. And then in that same folder, I made a playlist of all the masters. Once the mastering engineer sent me the masters, I put it all in one playlist right here, and I made a really pretty picture there so that it looks nice, it feels good. And then she has a live record, and so I made her a playlist of her live record, and everything is centralized, and I can send them links separately for all that stuff. So we have our kitchen work, the behind the scenes, we keep it to ourselves, and then we have the and there's the versions. I don't remember if this is the latest one. Let me see. There you go. So, you know, apparently on Mix Recall 1.3, I adjusted the de-esser. I fattened the leads 1.27%, and I added space around the backbeat to make it less pointy. Cool. And so I'm able also to keep track of, you know, the different revisions and everything. So that's pretty awesome. And that's how I organize my system. Usually when I'm going to mix a whole record and I know I'm going to mix a whole album, I will start a playlist right from the top. I will start a playlist and I will put my first track into the playlist, which is what I did for, what am I working on right now that I worked that way? The Pone record. So the DJ Pone record, the first thing I did is I started this playlist, and every day that I mixed a song, I added a track to that playlist, and he got a notification. I didn't even have to tell him. It's just, you know, oh, I uploaded Narrow Meadows today, and he got an email that I uploaded Narrow Meadows, and he went and listened to it, and he can listen to it in context with the other songs, and then within Narrow Meadows, he can go in here and listen to all the different versions, which I probably, this one I cleaned up to make sure everything was nice and clean for his label. But that's the idea, right? So yeah, I create a playlist, and as I mix the record, I keep adding tracks to that playlist, and they can listen and compare. And of course, it's level managed, so I don't have to worry about matching levels. I mean, I tend to do the best I can to match levels, but it's not my obsession like it used to be, because I don't want the time spent making it sound great being ruined by the fact that it's quieter. So now everything is at a defined level that I choose, and I'm able to add tracks and work quickly and get feedback on all the tracks. It is pretty awesome. It is pretty awesome. And
Fab, we have a question.
I have an answer usually.
All right, so Recording Casey asks, can you set an expiration for the link, or does it stay live forever?
So what you can do is, no, are you kidding? What you can do is in your invite thing, you can kill the link, you can delete the link. Well, there's a password on this one. You can delete the password, or you can generate a new link. If you generate a new link, it kills the old link and nobody has access to it, so it's secure. Also, everything is encrypted. The communication, in the plugin, for example, well, it's encrypted in the cloud, obviously, but in the plugin, when you open the plugin, it downloads the data and stores it in an encrypted database so that you can work offline, right? Because you don't want to be stuck online. So there is a database, encrypted database, for the plugin on your DAW computer, and that is secure. And so, say for example, you're going to work on a plane, you open your session, your Mixup data will be there if it's in your cache, and that's, you know, pretty nice. I wonder why that's in there, but it's very nice. Maybe we asked for it. Voila. Do you have another question, boss?
Yeah, so there's a lot of plugins out there that are really great for loading in your reference tracks and then A/Bing back and forth. Can you show how you use Mixup for that?
Yeah, so basically anything's a reference, right? You could do, a reference could be a previous version of the song. A reference could be a song from a different record that you mix. For example, this is Max and Johnny, and let's say I want, you know, so let's say the Gregory Porter one. So I'm going to go to the Gregory Porter one, and it's downloading. Did you see that? And now, so if I go, say here in my song, it's kind of the same groove. So this is Jupiter and Mars. And this is Gregory Porter. You notice that Gregory Porter is leveled at -14 because I sent it to Gregory and I wanted him to be able to compare with the other records on Spotify and not be startled and not be surprised. So that's a way to do reference. I am also, as I showed you earlier, if you go to my top level, I have my ref track here and I have my ref mix playlist, and this is Immigrant Hands, which is like, you know, it's pretty awesome. And also you can offset the output gain of your reference. So if your reference is a little soft, a little loud, you don't have to use the automatic levels. You can do it manually. You can say, okay, I want Immigrant Hands to be say 3 dBs louder, and it is. It's pretty nice. I'm not going to leave this way because this sticks. There you go. So that's a way. The way I do it right now is I have these reference mixes. I also use Infatuation from Colette. There you go. And I'm able to have as many as I want. I used versions into a track. I don't know why. Maybe at the time we didn't have the playlist yet. But I use that for referencing. And I also reference, and this is the thing that's key, when I was mixing the Michel record, if I go back to my mix stack and I go to Michel, I would work from the playlist. so that I'm actually able to listen to my current mix against other mixes in the song, level matched. And I'm able to make sure the bottom is tight, and I'm able to make sure that everything was like really pretty and great without having to agonize over it. It was just one simple click. And so it was, I mean, for me, that was a total life changer on this record, because we spent so much time on it, and it took so long to get it to the level where we wanted it to be, and that sometimes you lose perspective. So being able to reference quickly is really, for me, was really important on this particular record. What else you got, boss?
Well, no questions at the moment. If you guys have more, put them in the chat. But
Yeah.
one thing I love about both the website and the plugin is when you get a massive list going of all of your projects and everything, there's a really cool search feature in there that
Yes.
you can filter down.
So the thing is, I don't use it, so you should talk about it. I just know where I'm going all the time, so I don't really use the search feature, but you do, so tell me.
Yeah. So if you're in the plugin, if you want to go to the plugin now.
Okay, I'm gonna go to, hold on, let me make you smaller, but still mighty. Small but mighty. And I'm gonna go here, okay, and I don't know if I can make this float. Let me hide this. Okay, just guide me.
Okay, so yeah, our little magnifying glass
There you go.
in the upper left there.
Yep.
And then you could type in Grimes, for example.
Okay, there you go.
And now you're filtered down to that one.
Yeah, this is
one
awesome.
thing.
I don't know why I don't use that. I should start using that.
That's super handy.
It's very nice, yes. I just,
And then I have
No way.
a
also, you know why I don't use that? Because I work from the plugin, and the plugin remembers where you were.
yes.
So I don't really have to, because every time I open my session, I am there back where I was before. That's probably why I don't use the search, because I'm 98.3% in the plugin. And so if I close this session, I reopen, it's going to come up like this. The cache will be here. The comments will be here. I don't have to search for anything. I'm there, which is great. I don't have to wade through, all the junk mail that you have to wade through if you your email. I get back into the DAW in that place. That's it. What are you going to say?
Okay, so one is a Pro Tools tip for people.
Aha.
This is one I love with it. So let's go back to Pro Tools. You can make me go away.
I've used Pro Tools before. There you go.
Okay, and pull up Mixup.
Yep. Yes.
And then let's make a window configuration.
Oh yeah, I do that too. Okay, go ahead. So
yeah, window, new configuration.
yeah. So I'm here, and new configuration. Let's call it Mixup. This is really dope. And window layout, include everyone. Okay, and then we're gonna make a recall, and we're gonna call it Mixup 2, and we're gonna say, yo, no, don't do that, but recall. Let's make it 99. Actually, in my thing, it's actually 98. No, 98. Okay, cool. Check this out. So now I'm here, and I'm hide everything, and say I'm here in this thing. If I type, if I recall window 98, it's going to call Mixup for me without having to do anything other than type the little code. It's nice.
It's super handy.
It's very nice, yes. Yeah, these little
Okay.
details. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I actually have that in my template, so I completely forgot I had it.
Right, yeah.
So for you guys, for the function of clicking on the comment brings the Pro Tools transport there, that function. For that to happen, you need to have a track in your session that has a rewire plugin on it. And that's the way Pro Tools and most DAWs function. That's the only common denominator between all the DAWs. So in my template, I have just a little track. It's a stereo aux that just all my templates on all my DAWs, and I have the Mixup Rewire plugin on it, and that's it. You do it once, and it's over, and you're able to just click on comments, and your DAW will jump there. It's worth it. That function is off the charts. It changed lives. Actually, that's what I say in those videos, is that Mixup saves lives. It saves a lot of time, that's for sure. It saves a lot of grief and a lot of miscommunication.
Yeah. Definitely time too, because recall sessions are
Cut down
way
big time, because there's no misunderstanding. If somebody thinks the chorus is the pre-chorus, which happens a lot, the little blue dot knows where it's at. Where do you want it? Here? you get it. Works great.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
This one, the technical team's actually on in the chat too, answering tech questions, but we'll try this one. Stefan Wessel asks, because of the Safari loudness issue, what browsers do you recommend? Any non-Safari that works best, or are they all well?
Everything works great except Safari, as usual. Anybody who's involved in any kind of web development knows that Safari is its own island in the middle of an ocean of madness. I use Brave because I don't like being tracked. But Chrome, it's just the same. Firefox, it all works. And by the way, I just want to qualify the Safari problem. Because of the fact that Safari is pretty ancient technology, the way they handle audio is archaic, and thus it is you cannot preserve the sound quality and do level management. And so we had a long discussion, and we decided, you know what? Sound quality first, level management later when we grow up. So if when Apple updates Safari to modern standards for audio management, then Safari will fall right in line. Otherwise, just use Chrome or use Brave, Firefox, whatever. Any modern browser will work. But Netscape and Safari, no. So that's that. I've had 0 issues with Brave in the last 2 years. So we've been testing this extensively for 2 years, and it works flawlessly. What else you got, boss? Since
Okay,
you
I
have
a note from the team.
Yes, hi team.
Uh,
Good job.
So they would like to talk about the storage system a little bit. So how much space we have, and can we use our online storage system? So how many songs can you have?
You can have as many songs as you want. There's no limitation.
Yeah.
It's unlimited. There's a free tier, so you can start using Mixup for free no later than very soon, like now. The only limitation there is that after a while, your track will no longer be online, and that's it. So if you need to deliver a song to somebody today, right now, you can do it for free with Mixup, and you can get feedback, and you have a grace period, and it's all good. Kind of like the same idea as WeTransfer, right? WeTransfer, you get 15 days for people to download your track, and then if it's gone, it's gone. And then that's a free tier, and it has most functions. And then the next tier up, the Pro tier, it's unlimited everything. You just put your entire life on Mixup, it's all good. We'll host it for you. And then there's a studio tier, and that has the more advanced features like the VIP thing and the delivery system, the stuff that is not people are not going to use day to day, but that studios or full-time mixers or producers are going to use every day, and so that's in the upper tier. So that way we're able to offer a free tier and a very affordable tier that does most of what Mixup can do. So that is the question that the team wanted me to answer, I believe. What else did I forget?
Let's see. I don't see anything in the chat right now.
Okay.
So maybe we'll give people one last chance to throw questions in.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I just got a little celebration video from direct from France.
Yes.
Should we show people that?
Yes, we should. Should we? Yeah, let's do it.
Well, hopefully.
I know it's
All right,
cocktail hour in France now, so let's see what the celebration's like.
It is. Let's see if I can get my phone to share up here. Oh, Camille is...
Camille is the lead on Mixup, lead programmer on Mixup. He's the project chef de projet. And he's been going through the birth of this thing from day one. He's been at the ground level of this madness. And I just want to say a word for the team. For you guys users, you're going to go on the website and you're going to use it, and you're going to open the plugin, and it's going to sync, and things are going to work, and you're going to be like, yeah, this is good. If you like it, you're going to think it's great. If it may not be for you. So far, I've gotten nothing but rave feedback. It's like, oh, where has this been all my life? it looks easy. It is incredibly intense to do something like this, and I want to give it's technically, you're basically, the internet is a moving target that you're trying to shoot in the dark. It changes all the time. It's basically broken. And to have something this works this well, that's this stable, and this advanced, is by not being Google. It means that the team, the dev team at pureMix and Mixup, they're badass, and they're really dedicated, and they work so hard, and it's really, that's all they've been doing for 2 years, and today is real. So congratulations, guys. I hope you think it was worth it. I think it was worth it. Let's see what the celebration was. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. That's Camille.
So congrats, guys.
Congratulations. That's so nice. And the feedback we get is beautiful, and I make sure that you all get it. The video is not playing, dude.
I don't think the video's going through.
Nope. All I'm seeing is Camille looking very happy.
All right. Well, there it is.
There you go. Camille being very happy. All right. So I think that this is a good overview of Mixup, the music collaboration system that is now live and official and available for the world to use. I'm not going to summarize because we just spent an hour and a half, but basically, this is a new way to work with teams. What?
Sorry, we have one more thing.
Okay.
Camille is reminding us to talk about the white label feature.
Oh, see, I forgot some things. I didn't have that on my little list of things. So check this out. On the studio tier, you can actually white label Mixup. You don't have to look at our logo. You could put your logo. I don't have, I guess, enough of an ego to have done that on my Mixup, but maybe I should. I don't know. So you can actually, I've never done it, but you can go. It's probably done online. This is Flying Without a Net, people. My account. I'm a studio member, so that's nice. I can white label it. Company name. Oh, I don't have a logo on this computer. So you can basically replace our branding with your branding, and that allows you to really make your client feel like they're in your layer, and they're not using some obscure third-party thing. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I should do it. Thank you, Camille. Yeah, I will find a logo and put it up there so people know it's me. The other thing you can do, by the way, is you can put your own face on there. So when there's all sorts of avatars and stuff, and I showed you the little the way to decorate the playlist, which is pretty nice. It seems shallow, but it actually makes people feel great. Like if you're an artist or a band and you show up and your music is into some nondescript Web 3.0 look, it looks a certain way. It's not great, but it doesn't feel great. It doesn't put you in the mood. But if you come to Mixup and there's a picture of the artist and the background is actually extracted from the picture automatically for you, it's nice. I can tell from the interaction with the artist that they really dig it. So I'm going to bring you back. Do you have something else, boss?
No, just the white label thing is amazing, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier about how clients just feel this instant level of customer service and just trust in you because you have things so well organized, and the whole process is so much easier that it really adds to the client experience as well as you and your
removing in the creation of art. The last thing you want to do is for the canvas to be a pain. You know what I mean? So creating the most amount of familiarity and security and coziness without having to do it yourself. Basically, the system takes care of that for you. Allows you to focus on the content of the art itself, not the container. And it's working. It really works great. People actually, at the beginning, like let's say, 7-8 months ago, when we were at a point in the development where maybe some things were broken, and I had to stop using Mixup for a week or two because it was not reliable, because that's how web dev and plugin dev works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I had to stop using Mixup because I needed to get the stuff done, and I wanted to make absolutely sure that people would get the files. Sure enough, who was it? It was Sophia. I sent Sophia Ray. I sent her a Dropbox link, and sure enough, the text came back and said, "Hey, could you put it on Mixup?" And that made me feel very good. I was like, "No, I cannot right now, but thank you very much for that text. That felt nice." Because once you're in it, it's really difficult to. There's no going back. I'm not. Once you go Mixup, you can't go back. So that's it. I think we're going to finish on that. Once you go Mixup, in my opinion, you can't go back. Voila. I think this is a good first stream. You can download it. It's free. Download it, use it, send us feedback. There's a demo when you open your Mixup. You register, you do your thing. By the way, you can log into Mixup with your pureMix account. If you're a PureMixer, your pureMix credentials will get you straight into Mixup, which is pretty awesome. And Mixup remembers who you are, so you don't have to re-enter them every time. So that's also very nice. And when you're going to open your Mixup account, you're going to see example playlists. So there's the Liveboats project, and so you can listen to everybody's Liveboats in the shape of a track with versions, which is pretty cool. And then there is the and my friend Luc from Part of Magic. That's one of the records I mixed using Mixup in the last 6 months. I said, hey, can I use some of your tracks to show people so that people will get on Mixup, they have music to listen to, and they can see the versioning and the playlisting? And he said, yes. So you have access to the Partner Magic, a few tracks of the Partner Magic record. And that's going to sit into your Mixup as demo tracks, which is pretty cool. And maybe we'll add some more over time. Maybe we can add some of Mark's mixes. What do you think, Mark?
Well, we'll have to do that.
Yes.
So we should talk about Lifeboats.
Yeah, let's talk about Lifeboats.
Yeah, I believe that everybody who creates a new account has a Lifeboats playlist in there.
Yeah, and also a Partner Magic playlist. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys can go through and listen to mixes by CLA, Mick Guzowski, Jakir King, John Paterno, everybody who's participated in the Lifeboats project.
Mm-hmm.
All of their mixes are up in a Mixup player, and you can use that to compare them level matched, one by one.
Level matched, yes. It's very nice, actually. It gives you a real good insight on what level management does, and also on the completely different vision of all these people on the same exact track. It's pretty awesome. And we had that because you could watch the different videos, but being able to just like have everything synced up and just clicking one click and you can hear the differences. It's really interesting. And the level matching works too. It's great. It's very nice. Very nice. Actually, did you put that playlist together?
I did.
Yes. Which mix of mine do you use? I don't recognize it.
It is from your Cubase video.
Oh, the Cubase mix. Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So
the comments on that have been really interesting too, because people, going through all the different videos, they had their favorites, and then after listening in the Mixup playlist, it's funny because some people were commenting in the pureMix Facebook group that their opinions had completely changed after being able to hear things so closely together.
Right. Yeah. Perception and reality, two very different things, and it's really nice to be able to focus on just listening and not have to think about anything else. It's really cool. So I think we're going to leave it at that. And for those of you still watching, thank you so much for coming for this unveiling and official launch of Mixup.Audio. And I hope to see you on there. And I hope you use it, and I hope it does really great things for you, like it's been doing for everybody on the team. And another last round of congratulations to the Mixup team for pulling this unbelievable feat off. And this is 1-0. Just you wait to see what we have in store. It's going to be even more amazing. I'm very excited. So thank you so much. See you around.